We are live now.
Are we live? Can you hear me? Can you hear the sound of our voice?
We're here at Bedford. I don't know if I can hear you, but we're going to test this audio first before we start recording the actual episode. So, Robert, would you go to your iPad, please?
That's what I'm going to go to my iPad. Because I'm trying to figure out... yeah, I don't have anything.
Well, I'm live. Live on Facebook.
Live on Facebook, but not on PhotoFacts Podcast. I'm going to go to...
If it does me again, I'm going to...
Nope, it says PhotoFacts Podcast is live, but it's not showing up on my iPad. Okay, hang on. All right, we're live.
Okay, TJ's in there.
Okay, so now let's try this.
Now, let's see if the audio... Okay.
All right, so I'm going to kill the audio.
Yeah. Let me play... Okay. All right, hello everyone. Okay, we're going to start recording here shortly. We have, well, we'll talk about it on the podcast. How about that? Okay, move a little closer here.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this audio down because we don't need the audio.
Yes, we don't need the audio.
Okay, outstanding.
Oh,
we
God.
are live now. Can you hear me?
Christmas? Dude, you need to turn down. That's like blaring.
Well, why don't you turn your earphones down?
No, it needs to, no.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no.
Look at my dots. Look at my dots. Look at my dots.
Yeah, and you're pegging.
Now I'm in the yellow.
You're pegging over here. This is what matters right here.
Well, turn that one down.
No. So it's okay for you. That's okay for you.
We have not done the podcast in so long that we can't figure out the buttons on this.
No, that's not what it is. You want to come in here and yell at everyone.
I want to yell. I want you to hear me.
All right.
All right, come on, let's sing, Jim.
Okay, you ready?
What do you want to say?
I have no idea.
I don't know. You're the Elvis fan. See, I called it. Did I not kill it? Yeah, but it's the audience. Talk to the audience.
Loving Daddy Bear.
I put a chain around my neck. Okay.
Oh, is that what you like? Is the chain around your neck?
That's right, baby.
Well, hello, good morning. We are broadcasting live from Bedford Camera in Oklahoma City. And this is another episode of the PhotoFacts Podcast.
That is correct. And we are not recording yet, Robert.
Oh. Wow.
Okay,
but we
ready?
are Facebook Live-in with the world.
That's right. Okay, don't
pull
off the thing.
Don't
okay.
pull off.
All right, here we go. We're going to do this.
Which one is I? Am I number 2? So, that amplifier works very well.
It does, doesn't it?
Like very, very well. Come on in, hop in here. We're broadcasting live.
So
are we live?
We have a guest.
We're live, but we're not recording yet. We're going to record here now.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Whoa. I have stereo now. What happened
We're
there?
going to do a picture here.
Do you have stereo?
Giovanni's going to do a picture for us before we start.
Oh yes. I don't have stereo.
ISO 100 film and 2-second exposure. We got to
Stay still.
Freeze. Okay, we're doing an actual It's a 4x5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4x5
film of all this digital shit.
Hey, should we go ahead and start recording this? That way we can say, okay, the pause and silence you hear now will be the snapping of a Copel number 2 shutter.
What we're doing.
Yeah, hold on. Let me wait, Giovanni.
Hang on, let me get Giovanni.
All right, you get Giovanni going. We're going to fire up the podcast. Go ahead.
Here we go. Good morning. We are here live at Bedford Camera. We're actually live on Facebook right now as we speak.
Yes, we are.
So, welcome back, Robert Trawick.
Welcome, Jim.
All right, we're back.
So we're actually, now, for the people out there in Facebook land, we are actually recording. We're doing a simulcast. Simulcast?
I don't know.
Would that be a good word to say that? Simulcast?
Simulcast?
Simulcast? Yeah.
Simulcast.
Simulcast? I don't know.
Symbian. And this is to, pay homage to Planet of the Apes. It's a Simian cast.
Okay. Anyway, so we're recording audio for the listeners that are not able to see what we're doing.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm doing a monkey. Okay, all right.
So now, so can you spin the camera around and let's see Giovanni over there. Can you spin the camera around real quick?
Yeah, hang on.
Okay, hang on. Jim's going to spin the camera around our Facebook Live camera. So we're actually recording for our iTunes listeners as well as doing a live Facebook. There's Giovanni right there, which is looking beautiful with James Pratt's 4x5 camera loaded with ISO 100.
Yeah, Kodak T-Max 100. So we're doing all this digital stuff. We're all digital everywhere, and I thought, hey, let's do some analog
Let's
stuff.
do a little analog stuff. I like it. So the next pause that you may have here in our audio will be us freezing for a 2-second exposure
Because
it's very low light at ISO 100. What
Yeah.
what f-stop you shooting? 22?
5.6.
5.6?
And what shutter?
That's like
well,
very minimum depth of field.
2 seconds.
2 seconds. Oh, wow.
2 seconds at 5.6. Hopefully you're focused on Robert.
I don't know if I could be still for 2 seconds.
Yes, you can. You can stay
All
still.
right, so here we go.
All right, here we go. So the next pause you hear, Giovanni is pulling
So
out the
he's-
dark slide.
dark slide.
We are live. Okay, here we go. He's going to count us down, and we're going to be quiet for 2 seconds.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Boom.
Boom! There you go.
Wow.
Analog photography at its best.
We just made history. Robert was quiet for 2 seconds.
That
So was that a manual 2 seconds? Or
What do
was
you
that
mean?
actually...
It was a timer on the.
No,
Okay,
it's a timer
I
built
didn't
in the
know.
lens.
I
Which
never
lens
shot
is
one.
that?
That is it's a Copal shutter with it's got kind of a real odd. I don't know. I'd have to go look at it, but I think it's a Cynar lens.
Yeah.
What's the focal
It's
length
a
on it?
135.
Okay.
Which is kind of a wide angle for 4x5.
Oh, wow.
Is it that a 4x5?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So a normal lens, a 50 millimeter lens on 4x5 is the same as 210 on that one. So 210 lens is about equal to a 50 millimeter.
Wow.
So 135 lens, I think it's a 135 I got on there. That's a wide angle.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking awesome. I love those. No battery required.
No batteries at all.
You know, you just got to make sure that on those long shutter speeds it don't lag too much with that little spring counter
Yeah,
inside
yeah.
there. But that's pretty awesome.
So anyway, welcome to the podcast because we are recording here at Bedford Camera, and we've got the special guest, Mr. James Pratt. I think that's
Hey.
James, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Or okay, yeah, because he looks a little thin.
Yeah, I've
wasn't
been
sure.
losing some weight here.
Yeah,
Working
you're
out.
looking good, son. So I have no idea what we're going to talk about. We just wanted to have you on the show.
Cool.
Because we can talk about your
got a
weight
few
loss
things.
or
Yeah,
or you got some.
we're a photography podcast, but I can talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, but you know what? The photographers got to take care of themselves too, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
you can't do-
That's absolutely amazing. Like your transformation is inspiring.
Well, yeah, I've had a lot of people say that. It inspired quite a few, but it's really, for me, it was a life or death deal. My doctor gave me some really, really bad news. I've had 2 heart attacks, and after the second one, my doctor gave me some really not very good news, and so I really decided to, instead of just sticking my head in the sand, I decided to do something about it. And he said, you can do all that stuff and work out hard, and you're still probably going to die pretty quick, but I'm going to do it anyway. So he said, as a quote, you need to be right with your maker. So
Yeah,
Wow.
Be right with your maker just in case,
yeah.
because it could happen
So-
quickly.
Yeah, so anyway, I just, you can kind of give up and be in denial, but I decided to do something about it. And so I've been really feel best I've felt in 35 years. I run, my typical morning is I get up at about 5:30 and I ride my bicycle to the YMCA, and then I run 3 miles, then I lift weights, and then here lately I've been swimming. So I swim a little bit, and then I ride my bicycle some more. I usually get about 15 miles on my bicycle, 3 mile run.
Wow. So
Yeah,
when do
pretty
you
well
have
every
time to do
morning.
photography?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I'm done I'm back home at 9, so it's just a matter you gotta get up earlier.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Whoa, so what time do you get up?
5.
Oh my.
Well,
at 5.
I get up at 5 occasionally.
Yeah,
and
but what are you doing at 5, Robert?
drinking coffee. I'm rolling out of bed, getting this hair all fixed up, sexy like.
You know what I'm doing at 5?
Sleeping.
My eyes are closed, son.
Closed. Inspecting for cracks.
That's right.
Well, that is awesome. Okay, so let's cover some quick things. If you are watching us live on the PhotoFacts podcast Facebook channel or page, whatever we are,
Yeah.
if you have a question, I'm trying to watch the iPad on the side. So if you have a question, hit like 2 question marks and then type in your question. We'll try and get those to James Pratt. We're live on the air for the next 45 minutes. And Jim and I will be in Bedford's in Little Rock for Photo Expo, August 11th and 12th. And we have John Rose has an awesome little thing planned for us with the Let's Make a Photo deal.
Yeah, that's going to be fun and crazy.
It's going to be fun and crazy. And I was told through Little Birdie that Jim should bring his guitar.
Oh, cool.
My guitar, make a bunch of racket. Okay.
No, not your tennis racket, your guitar.
Okay. Okay. So
There may be a chance for you to serenade some people.
okay.
Some Jimi Hendrix.
Oh,
Yes!
right. Okay.
Little
so,
Elvis.
anyway, also, not only is it the Bedford Photo Expo, it's also the what?
Oh, it's the Arkansas PPA has joined forces with Bedford, so they're going to have the trade show as well as speakers from both.
It's going to be
Cool.
a big show.
Oh,
It's going to be a big show.
shindig.
And then I'm going to pass this note to Jim because
Okay.
he can read that chicken
Also,
writing a lot better.
I can read that. That says James gets a free Sony camera.
A9,
Yeah.
Wow! Look at
So-
this! Look at this 85.
So listen
Yeah,
up.
sweet.
This coming
Sexy.
Saturday the 29th, Jimmy Tong from Sony will be here, and he's going to be demoing all day the Sony A9.
I think I'll be here.
Oh, yeah. It's
Jimmy's cool.
Oh, he is. He's,
Yeah,
he's
he's awesome.
a great guy.
I went to one of his classes. It was very good.
Yeah. He actually had a little demo here a while back. I was watching him talk about the A9,
Yeah.
and it's Drool City.
I've got an A7R, and I really like it. I don't know if I like it better than my Nikons, but it's really lightweight, really small, and
Right.
it has a lot of capability. Really
Yeah.
very programmable. I'm very happy for a small camera.
Have you heard anything about this one?
The A9,
Yeah.
I've read about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's awesome.
it's pretty crazy.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a hard time for me to justify the cost,
Oh, yeah.
but the camera is really nice.
Yeah. It's got some...
I mean, the problem is not the
features.
cost. Is not just buying the camera. You got to buy lenses.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's the whole
Or-
system you have to get
And
into.
if you, I mean, you can put other lenses on it, but then why?
Right.
You know, why would? What's this? This is that's an A9.
Yeah, that's an A9.
Oh wow. Okay.
That door's locked.
An
right now.
85, an 85-1.8 lens.
Oh,
Sweet.
goodness.
It's got no card in it.
It's a
Okay,
little bigger. Yeah, it's a little heavier, more
it's-
substantial than
it
mine.
feels pretty
good.
substantial.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice.
And I think they have a battery grip for it.
I tell you, the more I do all this stuff, the more I like lightweight.
Yeah.
You know, for
Sure.
sure.
That is
Sweet.
definitely pretty sweet. I have to tell you.
Yeah, I'm gonna
It's-
play with that here in a little bit.
I can't remember specifics, but I just remember drooling. It's got some serious focusing capabilities.
Oh, yeah.
Really fast, very fast shutter.
You know, for me as a
Frames per
pro
second.
photographer, you know, I mean, they're really fun and they're toys and they're great to play with. But then I got to sit down and think, okay, how much more money is that going to make me? What can I do with it that I can't do with what I'm doing now?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's really hard
Right.
for me to.
Dave Dopel joined online.
Oh my gosh.
Fabulous Dave.
Dave. Wow, dude. Thanks for
I can't
coming
believe
in.
that. He's another guy that had a transformation.
Yeah.
He's like, I started watching my weight when I hit 240 and think I should lose some, and I think he's down to like 200.
That's
and I'm
what it
like,
is.
dude, I like watch 240 pass, but I'm trying.
I was 240 and now I'm 200.
Oh my
a year
God,
later.
I have been 200 since I was 16. No, that's not really true. I was 200 a long time ago. Okay, so let's jump into some questions just so we can cover some good information and content.
Yeah. Questions from.
Well, I had some questions
you?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah, from me. Okay, so I led into that this morning on a Facebook Live post, and I wanted to present this to James because right now he's in the process of basically transforming his life. And there are a lot of photographers that go through the same transformation, maybe not physically, but photographer-wise.
Yeah.
Oh,
Give me the
what
iPad.
am I doing?
Give me the iPad.
Give you the iPad?
Yes.
Okay, here's the iPad.
Thank you very much. Sorry for that.
No, that's fine. You're doing great. This is still a learning experience for us. So don't worry about the bobbin head that goes around. There you go. So I had some questions for some people on Facebook in a group I belong to. And it might be the summer, it might be the time of the year, but a lot of people kind of get that motion like, hey, I'm going to be a photographer. So they go out and get all the equipment. They get the website. They get the email. They get a couple of jobs. And then it flat planes.
Yeah, that's common.
You know, and it's just like, I can't get the phone to ring. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's
and
where
they're
your
constantly online looking for ideas. So what kind of advice you might
Yeah,
be
well,
able
that's
to
where
give them?
your marketing comes in, and your networking, and you know, my wife, who's a realtor, a very good realtor, as a matter of fact, one of the top in Oklahoma, she calls it dialing for dollars.
Okay, listen. You can call her out. Her name is Kay.
Kay.
Go ahead and plug it in. Go ahead. And
She may be watching. I don't know. She watched you the other day.
She did, and she was adorable. I wanted her to come in on the podcast
yeah.
show. That would be awesome.
Yeah, we got another mic, Kay.
Yeah,
Come on in.
She's at a training class this morning, but you know, she calls it dialing for dollars. I mean, when, you know, things slow down, she gets on the phone and starts calling her contacts. I mean, you know, starts working the phones and she's really good about being friendly with people, and, you know, she's not just calling them for their money.
Yeah.
She's calling them to see how they're doing, how their
Sure.
kids are doing, how their people, and, you know,
So it's probably a
that's
lot
not
better
working.
than just sitting around the house feeling
Yeah,
sorry
moping,
for yourself.
right.
And moping
Yeah.
around.
We're moping around.
That's
right.
true,
You
man.
But
gotta-
I've had several photographers recently, and I go through the same thing occasionally too, where it's like, oh my God, I'm looking at the week and like I got nothing coming in, a lot of expenses going out,
Yeah.
and what do you do?
you got to start getting work. I mean, you got to do that. Usually when things like that happen, it's get back to the basics, because we all get sidetracked with all the really cool stuff you can do and all the esoteric things, the marketing, but it's really, that's what my wife says, dialing for dollars is get back to the basics, which is picking up the phone, calling people, working on your website, doing your marketing, doing your email newsletters. Those are the basic things you got to keep doing. And it's really easy to get distracted I saw one photographer, they spent hours and hours and hours, 100 hours making these some type of wedding thing book that when they give their client
Like
wedding-
like a marketing piece,
right, when they give them the photos, they'd have all this really, really fancy stuff in with the photos, which is all great and dandy if you're real busy and you got plenty, you can do that. But they were desperate for business, and they spent 100 hours or whatever it was building these little things. And I'm going, if you're slow, don't do that. Work on your basics. Get back to the basics that makes the phone ring. Those are nice to haves. There's also things you got to do.
Well, and I think I completely understand. I have done that before where I've got stuck in busy work.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, yeah, but I'm going to go ahead and design my new thumb drive and my new logo.
Yeah.
And, my wife will sit there and go, oh, yeah, oh, that's fantastic. That looks great. So what did you do today to make the phone ring?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I have some cool thumb drives, so if the phone rings and I do shoot somebody, I can deliver it nicely. So I'm basically doing busy work on the back end, but not trying to get that client to come in
And
the door.
there's a trade-off. There's a balance. You got to do strategic. There's strategic things that maybe are not urgent, and then there's urgent things that are not strategic. And so you can work on, you want to have a balance between them. So you want to work on, you have to work on the urgent things, but you can get so caught up in the urgent things that you're not working on strategic things that are more long-term, and that'd be your logo and your thumb drives. Those are more of a strategic deal.
And they're not urgent.
And they're not urgent, right. But you need to have a mix between the two. So what I do is try to budget, okay, I'm going to work 2 hours on this particular project that's strategic, and I want to budget my time for that. But then that's it. I'm going to go back to the things that make me money, and then maybe tomorrow or the next day come back to the strategic stuff. So try to budget in some of that time, but don't just get caught up in it and not working on anything else.
I think that's what happens a lot too, doesn't
So
it?
James, as a listener, as a kind of a newbie or someone that's maybe struggling or whatever with their business, give us some basics. Like, what are some of the basics?
Good
Well, you
question,
gotta have your, first off, you got to figure out what you want to do. I think you have to. So many photographers don't know what they really want to do. I want to do some weddings, or I want to do some portraits, or I want to do this, or I want to shoot for magazines, and I want to do commercial work. And you really got to figure out what you want to do and try to focus on that. And then, you need to. Some of the things like a newsletter. I send out a newsletter all the time, and it's just a regular thing. And
Email
newsletter,
Yeah.
right?
No, that's
And-
the previous clients you have
Right.
in your database.
Well, that previous clients and clients I want to work with. So for me, I shoot a lot for magazines, and so I always love, when you're shooting for weddings, you don't really know who exactly your clients are. With your magazines, all you got to do is go down to Barnes and Noble, and there they all are.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
You go down there, and I take my phone and go click, click, click all the mastheads. Then I go to get all their contact information from LinkedIn and put that in my database.
LinkedIn's been pretty good.
Yeah. And so I could put that in my database, and that's how I start marketing to them. Start networking and marketing, and then I just send them out. It's people I want to work with, plus the people I worked with in the past. Mm-hmm. And I try to do a regular newsletter that goes out to them. And
Do you use a MailChimp or anything, or do you just send out?
I've tried several different types. What I do right now is I use a product called Vertical Response.
Okay, yeah, I remember you telling me
Because it's MailChimp, you have to pay per month. And I hate monthly bills.
yeah,
I
up
absolutely
to
hate.
2,000 it's free,
Yeah.
but
Which is
But after
what would work.
2,000, it gets pretty
45
pricey.
And so
45 a month.
I end up doing a vertical response because you pay per email. And so it's if you do 10 emails, 50 emails, 100,000, you just pay for it. And you can send like 2,000 emails for $13.
oh, really?
And so, if you
So if you're not doing it very often,
or
that's
if you
gonna
maybe
be
do it every other month, or maybe you skip a couple months, you're sick. Because, as freelance photographers or independent business people, overhead is horrible. I mean,
Yes.
Some days I have money and some days I don't have money. And when I have money, I don't mind spending a little bit. But when I don't have money, I don't want these monthly bills coming in that I still got to make.
No, that's true. I mean, because we have that overhead that we have to pay regardless of a client working a client.
Exactly.
And this is we're looking at my notes the other day for what I have coming up, for the next 2 months, and I'm kind of surprised. It's like fall hits me with like all my online web services, domains, and it's like $200 this month, and there's gonna be 75 on this one, and it's like, holy crap, there's $400 for the next 3 months that's going out just in web stuff.
Yeah.
And it can really eat your bottom line. It's a big nut to crack at the end of the month.
Yeah, So I try to keep, I like to pay things in, I don't like monthly bills, and I don't even like subscriptions. I mean, I finally broke down and did the Adobe thing. I hated it. I kicked and screamed and moaned, and
I did too. And then after I think it was the second update they did, it was just like, okay, look, I just need to just jump on the bandwagon, pay the $10 a month, and
it's more
move
really
on.
that for me because I got to have Illustrator and
I have Illustrator through Jim. Like, I send my stuff to Jim, like, hey man, can you convert this?
I thought you were going to use his copy.
No, I don't use his copy. I just send it to Jim.
Oh yeah.
Man,
okay, so
go ahead.
We have a question.
We have a question.
So, at what age did you guys discover your passion for photography? That's from Amy Michelle Williams.
I was pretty late. I was really probably 40, but 35, probably 35 to 40 before I really even started. I mean, I never really picked up a camera.
I discovered my passion at 17. And let me tell you my passion, because I don't think a lot of people know the story. So I grew up in Spain, so I came back to the States my last 2 years of high school, because I was being a real pain in the neck with my mom. Like, I was really bad. So she sent me to live with my dad in the United States. And so in Spain, the classes are so more advanced than America, they didn't know what to put me. Like, I'm in a small town, North Carolina. Comes this kid from Spain. They're like, I don't know what to do with you. You can barely speak English. So they'd put me in classes, and I'd ace a couple times. I'd talk to the instructors, and they'd move me to the next grade. So I went from the 9th grade to the 12th grade in 1 year.
Dang.
Wow.
Except in American history and English. So, I'm sitting here, and like, my dad would not let me go get a job. He said, your job is to study. But I only had 2 classes to take. So the counselor was like, well, we're going to have to give you some other classes to take so you can stay busy, because we can't send you home early. So I was the guy, like, doing home ec. Like, I wasn't in welding. I was with all the girls baking, which, by the way, was pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And they got me stuck in photography in a photo class.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I was this, like, really skinny, very skinny, pimple head kid that could barely speak any English in a redneck country of North Carolina. And they give me this camera, and you know what I found out? Dude, this camera was a chick magnet. Like, I walked out, and all the cheerleaders were like going, oh, take my picture, take my picture. So I took like 2 rolls of film, went back, and my teacher taught me how to load the film development up. Not a single photo came out.
Oh,
not one.
Sure.
Dude, I was so embarrassed that I spent like my next 2 years basically learning photography, and the more I did, the more passionate I got about what this crap was about. I didn't rediscover women until I was like 20. But then, of course, after 20, it was downhill from there. It's like 6 marriages later. It's just not as kind as photography. But yeah, that's my passion.
For me, I remember when I was probably 9 or 10 years old, playing with my parents' camera, and I don't know what you call it. That's the one that you flip up and you look it down in.
Yeah.
Messing
like
around.
a brownie or something.
Yeah, and I was taking pictures of my Hot Wheels or something on the steps, and I was getting down to their angle and kind of their perspective. I just remember that vividly. Wow. And I don't know if I thought, wow, I'm going to do this. It was just I enjoyed taking pictures. And then I think later I got me a little 110 extra Kodak extra or something. I used that thing like it was a big camera. So. Anyway, that was me.
But you did graphic design and stuff for Teleflor, so you kind of came back. You always stayed in some type of visual marketing,
right?
But the photography thing didn't kind of blossom till just a little bit later on, right?
Yeah, right. When I started working at Teleflor, I was 18, and then did the graphics thing, and then I can't remember my first camera. Well, yeah, I can. I don't know what year. Probably like 87, somewhere in there.
87. God, that sounds so old now.
I bought a. On Finger Hut.
My God, not Finger Hut.
I bought a Minolta X7A. It was black. and it came with a whole kit.
It's a nice camera.
And
Finger Hut was like service merchandise. You remember that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But so yeah, that was my first. I think that was my first purchase.
You know, a couple of cool things I've been doing lately is I've been doing a lot of not a lot, but I've been mentoring a little bit. And that's been fun. I've been mentoring a couple young photographers. They're probably in their late 20s. And
wow,
one of
late 20 we call young now.
Yeah, pretty young. But the one of them, Ryan West, I just hooked him up with his first job. It was with a magazine. He shot his first magazine cover recently.
Cool. Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, it was one of my clients, and I was unable to make it, and they didn't have another photographer. And I started calling Robert, and I thought, well, I've been mentoring this guy. I think he's maybe ready to give it a whirl.
Yeah. You get that point where you have to kind of kick him out of the nest and let's see what happens.
I was kind of a little nervous because he wasn't all experienced with light. He's a really excellent photographer. He'd been shooting a lot of editorial style stuff, telling stories. That's what I've been pounding into his head for the last year. Is story. It's all about the story. You got to tell a story, and he's been going out and shooting stories for like nonprofits. And so then I get this assignment was for the a magazine. They were doing the Special Olympics up in Stillwater, and he did an excellent job. Made a great cover. Got paid, makes money off of it.
That's always nice.
Yeah,
so. At the end of the month, it's nice to be able to buy the groceries.
Yeah. That's his first job to ever get paid on. So.
Oh, really?
So
really?
Yeah.
Like photography job.
First. Yeah, photography job.
Okay,
right.
okay.
Yeah. So, that's what I'm saying. This is his first, that was the very first job for a client. He may have done some weddings or something, I don't know. But that was first editorial.
Right, the first direction he wanted to go in, because he made up his mind this is what he wanted to pursue.
Right. And so we've been working on it a year. I've been helping him with his portfolio, and I'm kind of brutal to him, just like whenever, my favorite, the best thing I ever did was when I went to New York City and met with some editors, and they were brutal. They were nice, but they're brutal. They see, it's like Sports Illustrated and National Geographic, people like that, and they see awesome photographers all the time work, and so they just, if your stuff don't cut it, they'll tell you. And that's the best of advice you can get, because all your family, I tell people all the time, your family and friends will tell you how awesome you are.
Right.
And you don't need that. You need somebody that's honest, that does it for a living, that works. And, you don't want somebody just to cut you down, but somebody give you some constructive criticism and tell you what works and what doesn't work and what you need to change. And that's what I did with Ryan, and several times he would come back from a job, and he'd put together his portfolio, and I'd go, nope. Yeah, okay, here, this is good. This is great. And so then he'd go back into another job, come back, and I'd say, yeah, here you go. Now you're getting there. This is the type of stuff you need to tell the story with.
But, I think that with these young photographers that are struggling, and I think we all struggle with the loneliness of a photographer.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're all lonely. In the sense, I really get a lot done at a coffee shop where I'm alone doing my work, but at the same time there's like some noise kind of, versus being at the house and it's like dead quiet. I have to turn the TV on or something to have background noise. But again, the whole thing with photography, I think in the beginning we spend so much time with the misconception that if I become the absolute best photographer ever, clients would just beat half my door.
Don't happen that way.
And no one works on that.
Right.
No one goes, hey, I want to be a photographer, so I need to learn marketing.
Business,
They just don't. It doesn't even come in their head.
It's businesses. You could be a mediocre photographer and make a lot more money than an awesome photographer if you're good at business.
Look at me. And I tell people, this is no lie, I'm a bread and butter photographer. I have not done print competition yet, because when I see the people that do print competition, it's like, oh my God, like I could not produce one of those unless I shot specifically for that. I could not produce that on a regular basis, and I just can't do it. I don't have it. Yeah. And if you look at my photography, it's funny because I talk about Terry all the time doing the posing for us. And if she's not there, you can quickly see that maybe one or two kind of like creative poses. Then all of a sudden it goes right back in the 1980s pose. You're like, okay, Robert slipped down the posing train. And I have been trying to work on that for years, and it just doesn't get through my head. So if anybody wants to teach Robert posing, okay, if you think you can pose, teach Robert posing, call me. I will come to your seminar.
Okay, I want to.
We have another question.
Questions. Yeah, we have 3 questions.
Cool. 3 questions. Okay, let's go ahead and shotgun those things off.
From Amy Michelle Williams. Amy Williams, I guess.
Okay, do you know who Amy Williams is?
I don't.
She's my daughter.
Oh, okay.
That's daughter number one.
Okay.
Number one daughter.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
What is the best camera, in your opinion, to start out with?
Whichever one you have in your hand.
That is
really is.
Whatever one feels better in your hand. Like,
my thought is, I tell people you need to get you a good Nikon, good Sony, good Canon, and now with the Sonys, they're really coming up.
Those are pretty good.
But something to get in a good system. It's not so much the camera itself, just get a good system, and you can, it'll stick with you for a long time.
Right.
Because you're going to change cameras over time. Lenses is where it's at, so you want to stick with the lens system. And over time, but really, I mean, Robert's exactly right. Whatever camera you got, I mean, not having an awesome camera is just an excuse.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But Amy, since this question is for you, I will tell you, your dad shoots Nikon, so you better be shooting Nikon too. Just FYI.
The best camera is a dad's used camera.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. I may have to dig through my closet and find my daughter a used camera from Nikon. You know, and just touching real quick on that. All the cameras are great. It's just a tool. That's all it is. And you're right. You're buying into a system.
Yeah.
One of the things I do like about Nikon is they have not changed their lens mount since 1959, and they're celebrating 100 years this year.
Yep.
I use a lot of old lenses, Nikon lenses, and they are awesome, and you get a great deal on them.
You get a great deal on it as long as you don't mind autofocusing, or you can get an older autofocus screw drive. The lens mount has not changed.
Yeah, I like that.
So you can shoot with an older lens.
Save a lot of money. You get
a lot of money,
and you get some unique looks with those older lenses.
Yeah. I have a 135 that there's like no contrast in it, dude. It's like I think it has like 5 multi coatings on like one lens from 1972, and it flares out, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, is that a preset?" No, that's not a preset. That's old school technology. All right, so hit us with the next one, Jim.
So this is from T.J. Parker.
T.J. Parker,
Miss Tammy. Okay. So, what has been the hardest photo project you have done, and what was the challenge?
I've had a few of them. One, I was photographing some linemen, electrical linemen, on a big project down in Norman, and they were putting in these huge, big transmission lines, and they wanted this. I had this really great idea for a cover photo. And I couldn't get it. I kept going down. I went down there for a week, every day for a week, trying to get this photo, and it just really wasn't getting what I wanted. And I got them guys working, and I actually got to go up in a power truck, I actually was able to hook up to a 115,000 volt line.
Oh my!
Touch it with my hands, you know. It's pretty crazy.
That was a lot of trust. They just say, "Oh, go ahead and touch it. It's safe."
That's what I said. Was it going to hurt your camera? He go, "No, we take our cell phones up there all the time." They said, "Just need to wear this suit." Had this cloth suit with metal welded to it.
Wow.
And I said, well, what if you don't wear it? You have to put this on, and it ties off to the truck. I said, what if you don't wear it? They go, oh, your skin will melt off. But
that's funny.
I said, I think I want the suit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I kept going down there, and finally, I still wasn't getting what I wanted, so I called my editor and talked to them, and they called the company that had all the employees, the line crew. And so finally they got it set up because it was middle of the summer, and so the daybreak was like around 6 a.m. and sunset was around 9. And I wanted to get a nice sunset shot with a silhouette with these guys up on the poles.
Right, yeah.
And so I called her, and she goes, well, let me see what we can do. So they decided they had all those guys stay late, so they had to pay them all overtime. It was like 8 of them.
Oh,
those guys make a lot of money, so they're paying overtime to stay till sunset. And then they put me up in a boom truck with those guys up working, and I got a sunset picture. And I asked all the linemen, I go, I really feel bad for you guys having to stay here. He goes, hey, we don't care, so we're getting paid overtime, and we don't have to work. We just sit around here.
Yeah.
We don't have to do nothing.
So what was the challenge on
that?
The
challenge was getting these guys to all come up and be there, and getting everything coordinated.
The planning and the coordination.
Right. Yeah, the actual photo wasn't that hard. I mean, they put me up in a boom truck, and I shot, as the sun went down. But it was the planning and coordination took a week. A lot of phone calls.
So you're going to look at me? What about me?
Yeah.
I've had lots of different challenges, and I guess what I could say one of the bigger challenges that I had was the first bombing run of Bosnia, Herzegovina, in Operation Non-Flight. We had F-16s taking off basically at daybreak. So we knew about 12 hours before. Now, afterburner takeoff on F-16 is pretty quick. It'll jump down the runway pretty fast. Yeah. And the issue is you can't just like follow it in a truck on a live runway. So we had to be stationary, and we knew we wanted to get the back part of the F-16 so we had the flames coming out.
Yeah.
Well, if we took out, now we're dealing basically back then with like, you know, pocket flashes or studio lights. We didn't have like a whole bunch of like quantum lights or anything like that. So we rigged up either 8 or 10 flashes and set them at different points of the runway, so that when we would shoot, once we fired that one shot, and you know, we were having a motor drive film camera, we had a the guys in maintenance, we had our own photo maintenance guys, made these delays. So when we fired the camera, the first flash fired off while the F-16 is parked right there, turning the afterburners on. As it's starting to go, there was a 0.1 millisecond or something delay to the next flash. So the flashes were popping like strobes
just
all the way around.
One shutter click?
Just so we can get multiple shutter clicks. Because as one's going down, the other one's lifting up, and the plane is actually moving. And you know, because of the flash is what's actually freezing the frame.
Sure.
So we have a little bit of blur, and the F-16 looks a little bit elongated. But yeah, that went like double truck in USA Today and Time Magazine.
Cool, awesome. Cool.
And you know what? It had my name on it. You know what it said? U.S. Air Force photo by. Or no, I said provided by U.S. Air Force.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of the worst challenges. But talking about the linemen, you get a kick out of this. So I had some friends of mine that were doing parachuting, and they wanted to get me to jump out of a plane. Okay, and photograph them going down. So we went to this jump school in Missouri, because we were stationed in Arkansas at the time. And the real challenge with this was staying in the plane, because I went through the whole class, and then when you're up in the air and getting ready to jump, like I looked outside and I said, no, this is not happening. Like all of a sudden you become very strong. So everybody jumps out of the plane, and the guy that's flying is like, he starts cutting the engine out. We're going down. You need to jump. You know, I'm going down with the plane, dude. It's not happening. I am not jumping out of this airplane.
Gosh.
And that was the challenge. So they got like a couple of shots, like leaving the aircraft and then on the ground once I landed. But
I'm
that
there
was
with
not
you.
going to happen, dude.
I've flown a lot of airplanes, but I ain't jumping out of one.
No, that is absolutely insane. People that do that have a screw loose.
Yeah.
Like a couple of them. What about you? What about your biggest challenges?
You know, I can't top either one of those. So
it's not a top thing.
I don't know. I mean, I can't think of anything that's going to be like, okay, you know, I don't know.
Well, I know one for you.
Okay.
Okay, so Jim does some amazing pet photography. So the first time you shot pets.
Oh gosh, I mean, every time I do it, it's a challenge, but it's fun. I mean, it's fun doing it because you know you know how pets are. You get them in front of the camera, they want to take off running. You know, it's some dogs get in there and you just set them there and they just sit because they're very obedient. Some of them could care less and they're just running
like
around.
little kids.
Yeah. But the amazing thing is, I managed to get something that they want to print. So it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. I love meeting the dogs. Even when I go to shoot real estate, I love meeting the dogs. So anyway, that's all I got.
But I think you do a fantastic job on that. I'd like to see some more of your photography to go to pet photography.
Okay.
Well, you need to add a challenge, like shoot it with film or something.
Yeah, shoot it with 4x5 camera.
Oh yeah, that'll be
like one shot every 4 or 5 seconds if you're quick.
Yeah. That'd be a blurry photo. Okay, so we got the questions coming in.
Okay,
wow.
let's go through.
Okay, so Eric says, "What is your go-to photographer?" Let's see. What is your go-to photographer move to generate a quick payday or cash?
Oh wow.
I just don't work. I don't work that way, so I don't really have.
Well, I guess what he's wanting to know is what is your number one go-to way to make money? In the sense of like if you wake up tomorrow and it's like, oh my God, I have nothing in the books, what would be the first thing you would do?
I would be calling clients and sending. I mean, I don't really go chase clients per se. I don't call them up and say, hey, I need to work, or you know, I don't know. I would sit down and hunker down and work on my marketing and website and you know, sending out my emails and things like that.
I would call clients.
Yeah.
Call it. I think it's going to be easier for you to get work from previous clients that are happy with your work.
True, yeah.
It's going to be easier for you to touch bases with them. And obviously, like James says, don't call up and say, hey, I have nothing for next week. Can I shoot your family? And that's going to be kind of desperate. But you could.
Now, I do a lot where I call, if I'm going somewhere, I'll call, if I went to Kansas recently, did a shoot. So I called several clients, and they were going to pay me to go up there. They paid my expenses, went up there shooting. It wasn't a big money maker, but I went up there and made a little bit of money. Well, I called 4 or 5 other clients, say, hey, I'm going to Western Kansas. What do you need? Do you need anything up there? And most of them would say no, but one of them goes, yeah. Well, when you're up there, can you do this and this and this?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
You basically tag on 2 jobs with one expense deal. So
and then you're making double the money.
Right.
Yeah. So I would touch bases with the previous clients you photographed, and that's one of the reasons of having a good CRM client.
Yeah. Resource management,
some type of way that you're tracking your previous clients. Could you send them a happy birthday or happy anniversary? Or
I use Zoho.com.
Really?
And it's free. It's free. Well, if you get the advanced features, it costs, but the basic version works great for a photographer. Use it all the time. Been using it for several years.
How do you spell that?
Zoho.com.
It's a CRM?
Yep. They have a whole lot of products. They're kind of like Google Office, but they have a CRM component. So they got numbers and
I've actually seen that one before.
Yeah, I've been really happy. I've been using that for several years.
Wow.
I'm really happy with it.
Okay, so Vanessa Wells Images.
Hey Vanessa, what are you doing?
Photography will teach you more about yourself than photography. What has it taught you? What
has it taught you?
Taught you. Okay, sorry.
Ooh, okay, well, that's a good
questions.
One. I would probably say that it has taught me patience
that's what
and understanding.
Patience, yeah. That's what I was going to say is patience.
Yes. I remember starting photography and doing people and doing my first couple of photojournalism class, and I just wanted to get through the freaking class. I'm like, dude, I already know this crap. I know this stuff. Just turn me loose. I can shoot magazine covers all day long. Leave me alone. And no, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I had no freaking, I didn't know how to talk to people, approach them, how to break down barriers or anything. And so I would say patience.
You got to be patient. I mean, that's one of the reasons I shoot my old 4x5 film camera, because you can go at your digital and you go click, 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 and you'll see them instantly. And you got to have, with your film, it's really, especially at 4x5, it's everything slower. You got to really make yourself focus and think about the photo and think about what you want to do before you spend a $2 sheet of film.
Yeah.
And it's taught me a lot of patience and composition and thinking through my stuff before I do it. So now when I go out and do jobs, I used to shoot 2,000 photos at a job. Now I shoot 100, maybe 50, because I'm thinking about a lot more.
If you think more, it will definitely slow you down, because you don't need to have 6 shots of the exact head pose where they're just turning like a half an inch.
Right.
Yeah. Pick one and move on.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe a couple. You have to close your eyes or something. But yeah.
And I guess I could say this. I'm probably going to get people mad at me, but I mean that's kind of a detriment now with digital. Is not a detriment, but just
I think it is.
There's
you
no
can say detriment.
creativity. And
I mean, you can learn so much faster with digital.
Right. The learning curve is a lot shorter.
Yeah. But back with a 4x5, or even back before digital, you had to think about what you were doing first. You had to think about everything: the exposure, the scene, the setup, the pose. You just had to, think a little longer and take your time.
Yeah, not so much spray and spray. You had to really think it through.
Right.
And you had to think through your lighting, especially because you're shooting flash, because you
can't see anything.
Right. You can't see it for like 3 days later. You can't remember what you did.
Then it's too late.
So for me, I don't know if it's necessarily. Well, it's taught me that, I'm an introvert, and so going out and doing networking and being in the Chamber of Commerce. We talked about this before. Just being in front of people is very important for all of us. Not staring at our phones or screens, or at a computer. But for me personally, it's helped me grow. More to be more extrovert,
to be more outgoing.
Outgoing, yes.
Because that's what I see is in the beginning, when we were talking about the whole Chamber of Commerce and networking, etc., and you made that jump once. The hardest part is making the jump. Okay.
Yeah.
The hardest part is taking that first step to make a change. And then the second hardest part is continuing that change. It's like me in this diet. I mean, I don't want to call it a diet. I want to call it a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
But we can sugarcoat it however you want. But you're correct, Jim. It's helped you. I see you as a much more well-rounded person than even 2 years ago.
Ooh.
No, because I would almost see you shut down.
Yeah.
Like literally, like people would come over, and you would be excited inside,
right.
but your outside would be like, and you like wouldn't engage. And now, oh my God, dude, there's like nothing that can stop Jim.
So
Felder.
the reason we're saying that, or the reason I want to share that, is because you got to get out there, just like James said. You know, make phone calls, but also go. And I'm guilty. I need to do more of this, but not necessarily going to networking meetings, but networking like one-on-ones. Ask one of your clients to go have a coffee, or you know, go have a meeting just to go.
Ask them how their kids are doing.
Yeah, talk about personal stuff too. Not necessarily, you know, what underwear they're wearing or whatever, but just.
I'm wearing Spanx, by the way.
Oh, I'm not. I'm wearing my Sacks. Anyway.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's what I'm wearing.
Sacks, yeah.
I'm wearing the Sacks. I wanted they just
remember that episode.
So, next question.
Let's go to the next question here.
All right.
Before we go on the underwear trail.
Let me see. Giovanni says...
Giovanni, he's in the store. He could have walked over here and gone on the other mic.
He says hell from lab. I don't know what that means.
Hello from lab. He forgot the O.
Oh, he did. Hey there, Giovanni. Okay, so TJ has another question. Other than your camera, what is your favorite piece of equipment and why?
Oh, my God.
Well,
my iPhone.
What are the lenses? I don't know.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, like, camera lenses are kind of the same together, but
I think it's the same
I get a lot more fired up over lenses than I do cameras.
Yeah,
lenses are.
That's what actually
that gets
makes
me
the
excited. Yeah, cameras are just cameras. Lenses get me fired up.
I'm going to say at this stage, probably my my Godox flashes.
Oh, okay. Good.
Because they're wireless radio.
Yeah.
Batteries are awesome.
Good flash.
Last forever.
Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff with good flash.
So.
But I like my iPhone. And the iPhone in the sense of a handheld computer.
Yeah.
That I have all my calculator formulas on there.
Yeah.
I'll put a plug in for PhotoPills, photopills.com. Love that app.
What is that? I've never heard of it.
Oh, dude, you never seen that? Oh, you'll love PhotoPills.
No. This is for the live. This is for the live group.
This is for the live group. Well, you know what? I actually have an app list online.
Yeah. I found a new app the other day. It's a massive developer. So you do all your film development, do timers, and it has all the formulas and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So this is the whole thing for shooting. So you have planners, sun, depth of field calculators, field of view calculators. Yeah. Night trails, like it. You can actually put this thing on here and get an over. Go ahead, pick it up, take a look. So the iPhone for me, because I have so many formulas, especially when it comes to depth of field. How much depth of field do I need at 5.6 or f8 or whatever?
Yeah.
And then it has the when you do the planner, it has augmented reality overlay, so you can see. Oh, there's the sun path right there, and what time the sun's going to be there. So it does the same thing with Milky Way, moon. Oh my God, I love it.
Okay, so Vanessa says, what new, used, or refurbished, and why?
Ooh,
I think it depends on what you're buying.
It depends on what you're buying. For me, I buy. I mean, for my work stuff, it's always new cameras. Lenses, I'll have all kinds of. I buy both. And if it's my product, if it's a new lens that's not available to use, maybe it has some features I need, and I'll buy new. If it's with Nikon, I can buy a lot of older lenses. Flash, I usually buy new because the technology behind flash changes so rapidly. There's a lot of really cool things you can do with the new flashes. So things like tripods or light stands, those don't change. I'll buy them used or whatever. Yeah.
So if you're going to buy a computer, if you're going to buy a Mac, I'll just say, my theory on that is refurbished. If you buy refurbished from Apple or anybody, human hands have actually looked at that. They've actually looked at it, fixed it, done whatever it needs to be done to it, and off the line, it comes off the factory line, and there's no telling, sure it's been tested, but you know what I'm saying? It kind of comes off the assembly line into a box.
I will say one thing is I really, really believe in buying local. I'm a big believer in buying local. I buy here in Bedford. I bought almost all my cameras. Well, pretty well all my cameras here, and a lot of my lenses. I just a big believer in local because you know, if you may complain and gripe. Sometimes you pay a little more, but
Well, I think you're going to, but you're paying for the convenience.
Well, it's not only convenience; you're paying for their expertise and for them somebody to talk to and a gathering place. There's a lot of benefits to it.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to pay for that stuff, I think you're in a false economy. I think you need to support your local vendors, even if it costs you a little more. It's just,
aren't photographers that way though? Okay, you'll hear photographers at a trade show run around whispering to other photographers, "Oh my God, Lab X has got their 8x10s on, nickel off." Yeah. And it's like we're telling our clients to choose us as a professional, to spend the extra money because we know better, we have the equipment, but as photographers, we're not willing to do that for our vendors.
Right.
And I think that's always kind of crazy. Now, I don't buy all my stuff here at Bedford's. I have a lot of other areas I get, but God, I love coming here and spending money. That's the problem. In fact, right now, my wallet is in the car because I have 2 or 3 things I need to get, and I didn't want to have my wallet on the ready.
I'm a big believer in buying.
But
local.
I believe, you definitely buy local.
And they're doing a great job here. It's been fantastic since they took over.
Absolutely. Yeah. They have the location in Tulsa. They have one in Missouri.
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
Is it Joplin? I think it's Joplin, isn't it? I think it's Joplin.
I don't either.
So, and then of course Little Rock is amazing.
Yeah.
So there you go. So if I had to give you mine, refurbished first because someone's touched it, someone's verified it. Second would be used because most people you can buy used equipment, get 6 months warranty. Now again, this depends on the technology you're looking for. Like James said, if there's this like kick-ass lens that came out that's not available used, just buy it new. Buy it new and move on. Even my main camera I'll buy. Because if there's technology I need it. If it's got the technology you need, I would definitely just to make money. That's the whole key. What expenditures are you doing are actually making money?
To be frank, I haven't bought a new camera in quite a while because the ones I've got are still making me really good money.
Yes,
I'm about ready to buy another one, getting close. Because there's some things I need the Wi-Fi, the real quick, easy Wi-Fi.
I love my Wi-Fi on my D750.
Yeah, but okay. So with that, let's jump into that for a second. Okay,
let's make it quick because
just because you have Wi-Fi on your camera doesn't mean it's going to be useful because it's all tied into the app. Okay, and I love Nikon. It's celebrating 100 years, but their app has a lot to be left to be desired.
It does, but I use Shutter Snitch for my headshots, and it does beautifully.
Right, and you're having to use a different app. But that's what made the Wi-Fi work. It's not the Wi-Fi in the camera so much as the app that was able to talk to it. Because there's a lot of those things you'll see the app like, oh my God, look how quick I can share. Then you get it, and it's just. Oh my God, it's like clunky. It's like, what are you doing? I'll take the card out and just put it in my computer or whatever.
So what's more questions?
We got one more question.
One more question.
And we've got to wrap it up.
Yeah, it's been a whole hour. Jim's got to go shoot.
What is your favorite and most used app?
Photography app or app in general?
In general, I guess.
In general. I like the one that if you look right here on the camera, it has it's green and it has a phone on it. That's my most used app right there. I click that and it goes to the people I call. No, I'm just What would be your most?
Well, I use Facebook a lot. Obviously on there quite a bit. And my photography app is I use quite a few of them, but I use a holders for my 4x5. An app called Holders that track what film you load in your holders, and I use that. And I use a sunset sunrise calculator. That's always pretty handy.
She says yes, photography, but
photography.
So for me, mine is photography related, but it's Fantastical. It's the Fantastical. Yeah, it's a calendar app that I use for my real estate shoots. For all my appointments.
Yeah.
Evernote. Evernote's good.
Evernote's awesome.
Yeah. Robert turned me on to Evernote.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's Fantastical. I guess that's what they call it. It's got a lot of don't know. It's got a lot of great features. You can dictate to it, and it'll type it in.
Oh yeah.
Like as you say it, it will put it in like
the right place. I'm gonna say
coffee
lunch with
Robert
Jim, whatever,
and it'll place it into where it needs to go, the time, the location, and everything. And then I've got Google Maps, linked to it. You can use either whatever you want, but it goes right to Google Maps, and I'm on my way.
It's really nice. It has a very nice interface too, so you can go, really quickly from. Well, maybe not as quick as I thought.
You're upside down too.
So Evernote.
Yeah, so Evernote's great. Yeah, Evernote's great because you can store all kinds of stuff in there: audio, video, pictures, PDFs. I mean, websites.
Evernote to me is like your own personal Google.
It's your brain dump.
It's your brain dump. If you've run across something on the internet or someone sent you something or an email or whatever that you feel that it's worthy for you to keep, you throw it in Evernote and you can search Evernote later on for it and find it.
Okay, so TJ says, good show, guys. Nice to see you, James, she says.
Yay, great, awesome.
Giovanni says, I love Holders.
Holders.
Is that
Holders app. It's an app.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Giovanni, I like holders too. Matter of fact, I think we're going to add one to our microphone holders. I'm going to have a holder for my coffee cup.
Okay, so anyway, we're going to wrap it up. This has been a great show.
Yes, Jim.
Great audience. I don't know how many we've had in here, but we've got 4 right now. But anyway, yeah.
Let's not say we had 4. We had 40 people.
Well, 4 currently. We probably had several. But anyway.
Could have.
It's been a great show. Thanks a lot for James coming on the show and coming to Bedford and to meet us here and hang out. And Robert, thank you for being my great friend. And Jeff for being a great friend.
Oh, is Jeff over there? Jeff is... Hey, Jeff! So you just got like the back of my head the entire time, didn't you?
Mostly.
That's my good side right there.
Okay.
All right, we're all done. Wrap that up. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you very much.
You guys have a great day. Thanks a lot, James. That's awesome. Can't wait to see that film.
Visit our world headquarters at photofaxpodcast.com.